Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me tonight on the late one, the top news. See if this is working perfectly. 1 2 3 1 2 3 microphone check. My name is Sylbourne Studio, and tonight is, what can I say? The big news. The top news. What it is? Well, I think one of the key news today, which is out there, is fracking. Everybody's talking about fracking. I often say, what is this fracking? And also interest rate which has gone up. But also one of the things which is out there in the news is about Trump, whereby they're still after Trump. Even though he's not the president anymore, they're still after him. And also a swap with prisoners, Russia, which is there. Then- So developments in the world. You know, the Queen has passed away, and it's like right after she's gone, everybody all break her loose again. Yeah? It's like the Queen, right up to death, had things all out of control. But once she's gone down, once she's gone on the ground, everybody's going crazy again. What a world that we live in. And what a world that we live in. What world do you think we're living? What can we change? Or we just go with the flow? I always say, don't go with the flow or you'll be in someone else's stream. But instead, create your own rivers. With the advent of the interest rates, and we'll touch on that a bit later, it talks about what are the implications. What are the implications for you in regards to interest rates rise? What are the implications to you if the fracking goes ahead? They say there'll be earthquakes upon earthquakes, but the business secretary is a risk that we need to take. We have to somehow, take responsibility for our future, whereby we are not waiting for or allowing, Russia and all these nations to be the one who are giving us, all these oil, taking control. That is something. What's the interest rate like in the UK? Just went up today. Want to touch on that. Yeah. And one of the things there, and I'm gonna wait for until Gary comes tonight, and we'll have the discussion. Just to let you know, the interest rate for the UK now has gone to 2.25%. 2.25%. It's over 6% here in the USA. Wow. But you see, the thing about it is that even if it was 10% in the USA, and it was being there that for a while, it all depends on the increase, isn't it? I don't know. I'm not an economist. Let me just make that very clear. I'm not an economist, but it would be depending on the increase in it, increment. And over here it's like 0.005 or so, 0.005 or so, and it keeps going. And every time it goes up, they say they're trying to curtail spending, but it also has an impact. It takes money away from you in some respect, whereby you have to pay more for your mortgage. But then the government is also saying what they're going to be doing is also cut the NI stocks. NI stocks. Stocks, not stocks. NI stocks. So that is something there which is worth looking at. So today is the 22nd of 9. Let me just share this video. And for ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching the show, I would appreciate if you share. Let me just do that myself. I also have a scripture verse which I would love to read at some point at the end of the show. I think that is also good because I believe it is very important that persons have some level of hope. Do you think so? Hope is something which is good. Having some hope at this time. Is hope lacking? Chris Cabba, young gentleman who was killed the other day by the police. One is still waiting to hear as well about the body cam footage to see what it's going to show to sort of bring some level of resolution to that. The other thing also as well, it's going to have the whole issue of reparation, the whole issue of apology. Are those things going to be coming back? That has taken a backseat slightly, but I believe it's going to be coming up back. But one of the things that I've been doing is somewhat looking at opportunities to promote young and black excellence. And for argument's sake, on Tuesday, I had this young man, which is called Trevor Anderson. Trevor Anderson came on my show and graced the show. 17-year-old young entrepreneur. And then since he came on the show on Tuesday, I have now about 6 young persons, teenage years, who want to be interviewed or want to showcase what they do. Sometimes it is just one person to see what your wares are, what your business is about, creating opportunities, creating synergy. That is so important and that is so crucial, ladies and gentlemen. So next week, Tuesday again, another impromptu moment with another young person. And after that week, another young person. What we're doing, we're saying, while the increase is happening, while the interest rate is going on, while the energy is going on, we are preparing our young people for the future where they can withstand the storm. Withstanding the storm, which is something very serious, very powerful. Another thing which I just want to share as well, and let me just share this, is that the Access Jamaica UK, and this is the Jamaica Passport Unconditional Landing Jamaica Citizenship, Access to Jamaica UK, which is going to be, ladies and gentlemen, Northern States, Birmingham, October the 3rd to the 4th, and London, October the 6th to the 8th, 2022, where in Birmingham it's going to be at the Legacy Centre of Excellence, in London, 618 at Lewisham Parish Church. And what this is about, ladies and gentlemen, it's about renewal, right? And let me just turn it down. It's about renewal of your new adult, renewal of your passport or new adult passport, adult, renewal of your new children passport, lost and stolen, damaged adult passport, lost, stolen, damaged children, citizen by descent, citizen by marriage, unconditional landing, there's 2 there, one now, new and transfer. And also, so it is the Passport and Immigration and Citizenship Agency in collaboration with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade and the Jamaica High Commission in the UK. So therefore, if your passport haven't been around for a long time, now's the opportunity to renew it, and so therefore, let's see what can do. But yeah, let me just go straight into this until Gary come on. If anybody want to come on the show, let me know still. The whole thing about interest rate, right? Interest rate in the UK. Let me change. I'm sorry. I think I hear somebody's trying to come on. Yep. Gary, are you there?
I'm here, my friend. How are you?
I'm cool in the Malibu, man. I have to play the music for you. So you come in. Don't play the music.
I'm having some technical difficulties here, man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Technical difficulties is good. It shows that we are human beings. You know what I mean? And so how's your week so far?
Well, thank the Lord. Week has been well, very, very, I would say, eventful, but it's been good. It's been good.
Yes. I think in a way, one cannot listen. There's so many reasons that people can complain about things, isn't it, Larry?
Yes, yes.
If you
There is a lot of reasons why people can complain.
there's
Um,
there's a there's a saying that the, one can always find a mountain in a molehill, and even though the mountain can't the mountain is not in the molehill, they still find the molehill. They still find the mountain in the molehill.
well, I could understand that. I think.
Mm,
Yeah, I can understand that. I can
yeah.
understand that.
It's it's been a very interesting few days though with the funeral of the Queen, Her Majesty. And somebody said something during the course of all of this. They said, "Do you notice that no one ever said her body at all? They always say Her Majesty right
Yeah.
through to the end when even her body's going down. Nobody says the body. They say Her Majesty." And what I was looking at again is the fact that since the Monday, it's like the news media has just shut down completely. You don't hear nothing about her.
No. Well, I think you see again. It's what can you say? It on the first part it shows respect. Yeah.
It shows what Gary. Sorry, I missed it there.
It shows respect.
Yes.
Even in death, it shows respect to the Queen. So
Yeah.
and it's a new chapter. It's a new chapter. Everybody for everybody really.
Yeah. That is correct when it says a new chapter because right now, I mean, with the UK, and we touch on the topics is new prime minister, new king, new commissioner of police. I mean, today my wife and ourselves went to check out our son at his year 11, looking at things getting ready for GCSEs. And then at the same time, we're looking for a daughter getting ready to go into secondary school, looking at different school. It's a massive transition period at the same time in every different respect in people and people lives may say. And I think it is how one goes through it, even with the whole interest rate, which has just gone
Yes,
up today to 2.25.
yes, yes. I mean, the it's I think it's interesting really in that um, the economy of the UK really has been hit heavily uh, with the increases of standard of living.
Mm.
Never mind the um, the what is that the furlough. I think the furloughing of the last 2 years probably has had a massive impact on the finances of this country.
Yeah.
And I
Is that
think
in a
what
positive way or is a negative way?
well in a negative way, in that um, you see what the government has tried to do over the last has been planning and wanting to do
Yeah.
was to recoup most, if not all, of that money that they spent.
So they want it back. They want it back.
I do believe they want it back. But you see, the government is there for the people. And in one sense, whatever the government did, and should have really thought of that, it's not for them. They're not for themselves. They're there because the people put them in place
Yeah.
so as to protect them, the people.
Mm.
You see, so I think in some ways the government has this thing back to front. But if you notice, Liz and her cabinet now they are backtracking on a lot of the things that Boris and those that were with him wanted to put in place.
Are you talking like the NIS interest? The NIS, they're going to pull that back?
Yes, the NI number they're going to abolish that
Mm.
because Sunak when Sunak put that in place, it was primarily to be used for the social action part, wasn't it, or for social services or
Mm,
whatever.
mm,
But now Liz Truss is saying that that's not going to be implemented.
mm,
Wherever they're going to get the money from is going to be from government borrowing and from
mm.
taxes.
But isn't it that lists just need to be what should I say, radical and be ideological and philosophical, whereas conservatives bring things back in line. Uh, Many people are talking about it's a gamble. If it goes through, it will be kudos, and if it fails, it's gonna be really bad on the conservative because really and truly, what they're trying to do is being very strategic with the power that they have now. Really.
Um, Again, okay, that may be so.
Mm,
That may be so. But then remember, they've got to put things in place
mm,
to to win the next election.
mm.
They've got that in mind. The people won't forget. The people are not going to forget. So the government can't believe and can't think that they can pull the wool over the eyes of the people.
Yeah.
So with with whatever they're doing, I know there's a few other things apart from the increase of the NI, which they're not going to go through with anymore.
Yeah.
The capping of the energy, which is 2.5. I think they're going to have to really look at that again. I
Mm.
really believe. Petrol, I've noticed that petrol and diesel has gone down. I mean, I bought diesel up in Leeds for 1.78,
Yeah.
178 a liter, which of course is the lowest for a long
Mm.
time. It could
And,
go down. It could go down even further. And in
and
actual fact, it has been said,
mm,
even though it's in the quiet, it has been said that 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 fuel, the cost of oil per per barrel is dropping, or
yeah.
it has dropped.
Yeah.
So
Well, what? Yeah.
it's got to come through to the consumers.
Yeah. And what they have said is that based on the fact that the oil at the pump, the petrol at the pump is going down, it has also dropped the inflation rate in the UK as well. And
Right.
you wonder why this is not somewhat being what should I say, materialize, or there's a similarity with the energy prices, the oil and the electric and the gas in homes. I think,
Right.
Gary, I think in a way something is going to break eventually soon. I know things are ramping up there in Russia now. Lots of rhetoric, lots of words about, 200,000 that Putin want to bring back in the frame. But before we go there, let's just deal with the issue at hand, which is the interest rate. Bank of England has hiked interest rates by a further 0.5%, bringing it to 2.2%, and indicated that the country is already in a recession. Now, it is very clear that Gary and myself, we're not economists, so we're just regurgitating what is already out there and giving our layman perspective. Unless Gary got a promotion by the Holy Ghost recently and he's our economist, which he can explain.
I like that one. Yes, I like that one. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And I said the hike, the biggest since November 2008, is the Bank of England's seventh in a row in a continued attempt to tame soaring prices and inflation. It takes borrowing costs to the highest level since the financial crisis. You know, and the policy community voted in a 5-4 majority to have a 0.5% hike, with three members. Listen to this, Gary. Three members preparing to increase the rate by 0.75% and one member opting to raise it by 0.25 percentage points. You see, these guys, I believe, are playing with people also at the same time. These guys are not affected by these, Gary. None of these guys are affected. Because when interest, I'll go down further and say what happens when interest rate goes up. It has a lot of impact at the same time, positive and negative, but it looks more negative to me.
you see, I think that a lot of what the politicians talk about and implement, I wouldn't actually say that they don't feel it, but I think
Yeah.
that they are protected. I think they are very much protected
Yes.
because you've never really heard of a politician, past or present, that has difficulties or 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 goes through hard times. Very rarely, very rarely. Um, and you wonder how that is done. You really wonder at times how that is done.
You mean how comes we don't hear them having a hard time?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think.
I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
only talking about this country. I mean, when you think of even, I mean, think of even Jamaica, small, just in comparison. I'm not talking about, but in comparison,
Mm,
um, you know, politicians in Jamaica or the politicians in the States. Look at politicians all over the world.
mm,
I mean, look at politicians in, let's draw another place we don't know about, in a sense, and then probably it's unfair. But look at this one in Sri Lanka, when the president of Sri Lanka had to run away
yes.
because people, they were in favor of them, but the economy just went down. And because of the state of the world economy, it affected them so much that they ran out of foreign exchange. They didn't have fuel coming in because they didn't have any money to buy the fuel and everything else connected with it. But you never hear of the politicians there having difficulties.
Mm,
You don't hear of the news media, the social medias, picking out a particular, whether they're the opposition or government, picking them out and saying, he is the opposition to the finance or the shadow chancellor or the shadow foreign affairs or whatever. You never hear them picking them out to say that they're having difficulties. It's always the one in the street. It's
yes.
always the man in the ghetto, so to speak, that is having the problems. They focus on them on the ones that are picketing and demonstrating in the streets, but
Yeah.
they never find the politicians, past, present, or future,
You see,
to
that's
interview.
why in one country they throw the politician at the rubbish bin. People them just throw him in a rubbish bin or something like that.
Well, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I mean, it's I think it's quite strange. I mean, don't you think it's strange?
Yeah, yeah, it is. But politicians in a way they are somewhat in a cocoon where they are protected in many ways because a they normally don't really touch their salaries in a way because everything is expenses. They get cars and all bits and pieces there. But they're talking about how will this impact people's finances, which is the increase in the interest rate. And one is that those with mortgages will see a change to their monthly bills. You know, homeowners with fixed mortgages will not be affected by the change, but those on variable rates will see their payments hike as they rise and fall in line with interest rate. And I've seen that, you know, over the few months when the interest rate been going. Lending rates and what someone was actually saying, there was an expert speaking on one of the news media today, was saying that persons with mortgage need to somewhat try to find some sort of fixed rate to manage things because even though they might miss the boat now, it may keep going up because as you saw, some geezer they were saying let's increase it by a further 0.75. You know what I'm trying to
Mm,
say? Um,
mm,
and he said, for example, he said lending rates for new fixed rate mortgages in the United Kingdom had increased further in August across all loan to value categories by between 8 and 25 basis. You know, these have been indication of reduced mortgage credit availability. This is what's happening. Although interest rates don't directly impact renters, they may do so indirectly if landlords have to remortgage and want to pass that cost on to their tenants. And you know, Gary, that if they can't pass it on to their existing tenants, all they got to do is say, I'm doing some refurbishing. You need to get out. And meanwhile, for savers, if interest rates are passed on, they could see the returns on their funds increase. However, they will still unlikely beat inflation, and those with cash savings account will be suffering a real term loss because the rate of inflation will be higher than the rate of return on their account. In terms of what it means for grocery shopping, while rising interest rates don't necessarily have a direct impact on food prices, the associated rising cost of borrowing could also indirectly push the price of food up. So those are some of the challenges that we are seeing when it comes on to interest rate. And somehow the chancellor will be speaking tomorrow, Kwasi, and it is hoped that somehow it will be Liz Truss or Trust Economics setting the stage for whatever that is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You see, again, again, my friend, I don't know. I just think that we'll just have to wait and see what happened, what's taking place. We just have to see what happens.
Mm. Do they in your community and like with the churches? Do you what are you seeing as some of the hardship that might be impacted without making specific on cases on the people that you may be surrounded by?
Um, in what way? What I mean, in what way?
Okay, like in our church, I know we started a food bank. We have seen an increase in that for the community, the local
Right,
community, you
right,
know. And I don't know if pastors in their circles are getting feedback from their flock as to things like people having real serious hardship, because there's hardship out there. You know, we hear about it, but sometimes it's good to hear from persons who may be on the front line.
right, right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know for our church community in Leeds, I know that we are trying to do just that every other Saturday. Last week Saturday we had it. This not tomorrow Saturday, but next week Saturday we'll be doing it again. We have a food bank program. We'd like to know that we can do it every week, really, because things are going to get quite difficult for people.
Mm.
You know, it is going to be quite difficult for some. I can't imagine. I mean, I don't think again that the it's a start. It's a start. But what the government is trying to do by putting a cap on energy prices, how helpful is that going to be for some? Because some are still going to have to listen. Under normal circumstances, before they mentioned the cap, people were struggling.
Yes. Keep talking, Gary. I'm just doing something. Keep
Yeah,
talking.
I mean,
Yeah.
people were struggling. So more people are going to be struggling more now because of the price hike that that has been placed on the citizens and on communities that are already under pressure. So I think that where we are in Chapeltown, and there are a few. Well, when I say a few, I probably just know about one or two within the immediate area or the surrounding areas that um, do operate a food bank service. But my hope, my prayer is that we can really be able to do more than just having a food bank service every other week, and we can move that to every week, and even within the week, we can even probably do it 2 or 3 times per week because it's going to be needed. It's
Yeah.
going to be needed. I mean, the supermarkets, the shops. I'm sure that they've got food that they can give away. I'm sure of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Even
yeah,
though as much as that they want to sell it, but they shouldn't throw it away. They shouldn't throw away food that can be given.
yeah, yeah. Let's hope somehow that is something which will take place. Another thing which came in the news about fracking. I don't know. Do you know what? I mean, fracking has been around for a while, but it's back on the scene again, where the business secretary is saying that hey, we need to do this. Do you know what fracking is?
Not in its not in a very technical sense. No, I mean, no, not really. But I
I
have
mean,
an idea.
everybody's talking about fracking this, fracking that, and the ban on fracking in England has been lifted. The government has said, yeah. So Liz Truss, this is another one of Liz Truss' new mantra. Fracking, which was halted in the UK in 2019, amid oppositions from Green Group and concerns about earth tremors, but that decision has now been reversed in light of the soaring energy crisis, right? So let's ask, what is fracking? You know, hydraulic fracturing or fracking is a technique for recovering gas and oil from shale rock, whatever that is. It involves drilling into the earth and directing a high pressure mixture of water and sand chemicals at a rock layer in order to release the gas inside. The wells can be drilled vertically or horizontally in order to release the gas. The term fracking refers to how the rock is fractured apart by the high pressure mixture. So now the question is, they're saying, why is fracking controversial? Because that's a big thing. And I think sometimes like these are discussions, or these are topics that sometimes we don't talk about, because it is like, oh, we're not interested in these things. But once you got the green people on these things, it is saying that there is some natural or some, what should I say, environmental implication. They said the injection of fluid at high pressure into the rock can cause earth tremors, small movements into the earth's surface. More than 120 tremors were previously recorded during drilling at Codula's site at the New Preston Road in Blackpool. Seismic events of this scale are considered rarely felt by people but are concerned to local residents. So what they're talking about is that there's an implication that this will actually get big and get bigger, and then one day, even though it's small now, and lead to earthquake. The business secretary said that 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 it is better to really work and get some oil, and the impact of an earthquake is worth it. Is that a good statement? That's what Jacob Rees-Mogg said, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So the decision to lift the brand was first announced by Prime Minister Liz Truss, and then Kwasi Teng also, and those guys. It's a new day. It's a new day. It's a new day. It's a new era. New thing in the UK. Trust economics.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It is. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how, because we are still on the subject of fracking. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, it was even debated in the House of Commons today with what's his name, Rees-Mogg,
Rees-Mogg. Yeah.
where he advocated for it. But I think there are certain sections of the government, backbenchers, that are not for it. They're not. They oppose. They are opposing, um, because the government, Liz Truss, has lifted the ban
Mm.
on this, and there are certain parts of the community that do not want it done in their constituencies, and at the same time, it's been proven, especially in the United States, that in the areas where there's fracking, there's also been earthquakes. There
And
are tremors, or tremors, put it that way. There
so So,
deadly effect on the environment. So
so the point what Jacob Rees-Mogg is saying is that the the positive impacts or the volumes of benefit to the UK is worth it than a earthquake.
well, he's saying it's worth it because it will alleviate the pressure which which is on the economy now by way of energy, because he cited that at least the businesses will be able to have this open up for business, and energy will be in abundant supply, whereas now, because there is a lack of energy only on the basis because Russia has been sanctioned, and so we're not getting the oil. The
Mm.
oil not only for our cars, but the oil for heating and everything like that, and for businesses to operate properly. If fracking is done, then we will not have to rely wholly and solely on the Russian oil.
You know, it's interesting enough because Donald Trump, not singing his praise, but he was actually speaking so much about the heavy level of reliance that we have on Europe. Sorry, not on Russia. He was
Yeah.
speaking so much about that heavy reliance upon Russia. But everybody saw the boogeyman, and I wasn't listening to the word of the message of the boogeyman. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yes. I mean, you remember when it was during the reign of Trump, wasn't it? When he was saying that we shouldn't, the West, he was even saying to Germany, I believe it was Trump who was saying to Germany,
Mm,
don't rely on this or cut the deal with Russia.
yes.
I don't know why there isn't anybody reminding anybody about what Trump was saying to Germany,
No,
because
no.
Germany was, if you remember, and if everybody remembers clearly, that the pipeline that was being built between Russia and with Germany, they were saying cut that deal because Russia is going to use it against Europe. I remember that quite clearly, and
Yeah.
nobody listened.
They were laughing at him. I remember in the UN they were laughing at him when he was speaking, and they were snickering. The Russian guys were laughing and snickering at him. I think China also was snickering at him. Um, but as I said many times, people don't listen to the message. They only focus on the boogeyman, which is the sender. Um, I mean, it is not a surprise that we are seeing Trump now being banned from New York. You can't find they want to kick him out of New York. You know?
Yeah, it's just quite strange, really. I mean, I'm not saying again that Trump that Trump didn't or wasn't right and all of that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that you know um, when he said something, nobody took any notice of him.
Mm.
Absolutely nobody took any notice.
Because
And
the New York Attorney General, she's Letitia James. She wants Trump to pay 250 million that she said was illegally obtained.
yeah,
Donald Trump and three of his children have been hit with a fraud lawsuit after New York. I loved in a case like this. This is a classic example of me sitting in my sofa, take out my popcorn and my Coca Cola, and just eating to watch how it's gonna unfold. Because I always say to people all the while, the way to give Trump strength is to attack him. That's the way to give Trump strength is to attack him, because these people are just gonna come in like a swarm. It's like the beehive, or beehive is like Beyonce's people. It's like the Justin Bieber, the Biebers. Will come in and close rank. And I watch to see all this unfold, because without a doubt, what it is that they want to do is to shut him down from actually running again in an election in America. And that is why I believe Biden keeps saying, I will run again. I'll run again. Once they get Trump out of it and Trump is not able to run, Biden will say, I won't run again. They just don't want Trump back on the scene there because it upset the status quo, draining the swamp. You know.
I don't know, my friend. It's
Michelle is saying hi. Michelle said hello.
yeah. Hi, Mish. Hi, Mish. Hi, Mish. Hi, Mish. Good of you to connect with us today. Good of you to connect with me on my daily podcast. I know that my friend here, Sylbourne, he just shared me once this week.
Well, you got fans like Vita. Vita's always there as well. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah.
Well, Vita, I haven't seen Vita, you know. Vita usually is there, but you see, the thing again, when I'm on it, I don't see anybody. I don't know who's.
Why can't you see anybody?
No, I don't see any names or nothing.
You need to get.
Only when they type in and say hi, like what Michelle does and Vita does every now and again. But if they once they click in, like that's why I wonder how when you are doing your shows, whether it be on Tuesdays or Saturdays or Thursdays or whenever, you can see who's watching you, but I can't.
Well, I'll have to give you a quick course on it, Gary, because there's
Yes,
a way you should be able to see it, and
yes.
I'll give you a quick course for free. I'll sow into your ministry. We, you know, in regards to that, there's one more thing also though is which is being very interesting in the news is about this swap with some Germans and not German, Russia and Zelensky people.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. And Biden is right. Biden is right when he spoke recently and said this thing must be done diplomatically. There must be ways how this thing can be resolved.
Yeah, but I don't think it doesn't look like Putin wants any diplomacy involved. Look what he's going to do now, where he wants to conscript all those 300,000 more soldiers,
Yes.
and the massive exodus that seems to be coming from Russia. But yet he is denying anybody below a certain age to leave.
Yeah, because what it says, queues have sprung up along Russia's border as men attempt to leave the country to avoid a military call up for the war in Ukraine. This just look like Mom and Daddy when Mom and Daddy says, listen, man, I have no problem with those guys in Vietnam. Why am I going there to Vietnam to fight these guys? I'm nothing with them. So therefore, I believe this is what the Russian men are actually saying. At the end of the day, they are family saying, why are we fighting? So Putin announced a partial military mobilization on Wednesday, which could see 300,000 people summoned to serve in the war, an unnecessary war. The Kremlin said reports of fighting, age men fleeing are exaggerated. Both on the border with Georgia, mile-long queues of vehicles have formed, including men trying to escape the war. One man who did not want to be named told the BBC he had grabbed his passport and headed to the border without pickpacking anything else immediately after President Putin's announcement because he fell into the group that could potentially be sent to war. One guy said, I'll break my arm, my leg, anything to avoid the draft.
Yeah, you see, whatever is happening down in Ukraine, it's a personal thing for Putin. Nobody wants to go down there, and his generals. No wonder so many of them are are disappearing and
Mm,
being sacked because they don't see the sense of this war.
yes, yes. It's an unnecessary war. It's
It is
and the fact that Zelensky is there maintaining his stance, it just shows that Russia. You see what it is? It is showing that Russia. Well, what it is saying to the world, Russia, you're not as strong as how you say it. And I think that is what is eating up Putin. That is what
yes.
is eating up Putin because you're supposed to be a world superpower, and so far a small fry, if anything, is kicking your behind. Michelle on sidetrack. Michelle said Sleepy Joe need to go and take Camilla with him. He no need to run again with his Alzheimer's self. Well, he need to run. Maybe Michelle, he need to run. Maybe just run away. Run. Why are you running? Run, 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 run. Why are you running? You know, it as usual, Gary. At this time, we just have to have our own reflection, whereby, um, in this world that we're living now, and with so many things, you got to think about how do we navigate it. You know, where do we put our trust? When a guy jump out of an airplane and he's going to be in a parachute, is he trusting himself? Is he trusting in himself, or is he trusting the parachute? What is he trusting, Gary? In himself or the parachute?
He's trusting in the parachute to open.
He's trusting the parachute.
Yeah.
So the question now is this: who and what are people trusting in at a time like this? That's a big question for anybody out there. Who are you trusting in, or what are you trusting in? Is it the hope that the job that you have will give you more resources, give you more income, so you can withstand the expenses which are going up? Or you have some stocks out there. Where is that trust, Gary? Where is the trust that right now, when people are worried and wondering, where should they put that trust? What is going to make a difference in their lives?
Well, I mean, that is why this world, anytime now, at any time now, I believe, um, this world is going to cry out for a leader,
Mm,
um, and it's going to be more noticeable now than at any other time because obviously, in certain parts of our world, there are certain countries which are they are rebelling. They are rebelling right now. I mean, look at, for an example, and one may not interpret it by saying you know, of what we're talking about now.
mm,
It's certainly not in the news, and if it is in the news, very little, very little bits of
mm.
what's happened in Iran. Yes, they reported that a young lady was killed because the morality police um, beat her because she wore the hijab the wrong way.
Oh, that's in yeah,
Iran.
Iran.
This
Yes,
is
yeah,
in Iran. Now there are in several cities in Iran. There's been demonstrations. What they're actually calling out for, Sylbourne, is a change of leadership.
yes,
Not so much are they demonstrating, yes, for the life of the young girl or the life
yeah,
of the young lady, which is correct, but they're crying out for a change of leadership. When you look across the globe, again, there are problems. I mean, in Sri Lanka, I think that they could still be demonstrating down there, but we're not really being told anything.
yes,
They're crying out for a change of leadership in various other areas of the world. Yeah, again, in certain countries, they are demonstrating, they are crying out for a change of leadership. And it's going to be so pronounced that the social media empires, the news empires, they're going to not be able to ignore that, and they're going to be concentrating on these areas, and they're going to there's going to be a concerted debate
yes,
asking who is the man that's going to take on the problems of our world. That is going to be, to me, that's going to be um, a very common
theme.
question.
Mm,
I believe that because things take time. You and I, we haven't been living very long, Sylbourne, but we have been living long enough to know that things do not change overnight. And there is a gradual change. There is a gradual asking of questions. And that particular question is going to come up. That statement is going to come up. Who is able to take on the situations of our world? And there's going to be a man, there's going to be an individual who will bring the solutions to every country, not just to one country. They're going to be able to bring a solution to every country, from the largest, which is what, USSR, or the Russian Federation, to the smallest, which is the smallest country. Is that the Vatican?
You have smaller countries than that. You have smaller
Okay.
countries in the
Well,
Caribbean.
think of the smallest country and the problems they're going to have. And every country, there's over 200 countries in this world,
Yeah.
and every country has a unique problem to itself.
Just,
And
just, yeah.
that one individual is going to bring a solution to all them countries. That man or that woman or that individual is going to be he is going to be looked on as a god. He will be, and the world then is going to accept that man.
Well, look, let's pick up what Michelle just saying a while ago, and this is leading up towards what we said earlier regarding Putin and Zelensky. At this point, I see there's two leaders flexing their muscles. It's all about ego, and this has always been what it boils down to. Well, I presume right there, Michelle is talking about Putin and Zelensky. You know, Gary, I was in a prayer thing with some guys earlier, and we said Psalms 125. Maybe this applies. Is that those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be shaken, but endures forever. As the mountain surrounds Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people both now and forevermore. So therefore, I think the best trust is in the Lord. And this is not saying you're isolating yourself from the realities of this world, but actually that is the world. That's the
Yeah.
world. There must be something that people must kind of put their trust in. What is it? What is it that people trust in? What is it that you put your trust in? Ladies and gentlemen, where do you put your trust at this point where all things are somewhat not going according to the plans that you have, or many people have their plans just before in 2020. People had their plans of what they wanted to do, and then COVID came in. So everything of course totally, and now they realize that all the plans that they had, they're recognizing now that actually I'm not in control. Who is in control? Is it a figure that we want? Even if that figure comes, are they in control? Mistress, is she in control? Quarterpin, is he in control? Andrew Holness, everybody say Andrew, Broga. Is he in control? And that's the thing now. When people should recognize that actually they were the one that placed leaders there, as long as it's not a communist and dictatorship country, they should be understand that they are in control. But I believe the ultimate control and trust is in God, Gary, at this time. What do you guys think? Yeah. What do you say, Gary? Did I preach your message?
No, man, you're preaching your own message. I'm in firm agreement with you. You see, when people are saying it's chaos, when people are saying it's chaos, what is actually happening is that things are falling into place. Man in and of himself wants to control things. Men have always wanted to control things. Men have always wanted to be the mover and the shaker. And what men do not really realize now is that is not in control at all of anything. God is in control. When the leaders of this world, I don't know if you've listened to the UN General Assembly on and off. I have, but when Biden, responds to the threats of Putin, saying that he's willing to use um, nuclear bombs and and such. He can't do it. Now, it may seem strange for me to sit down here and say he's going to, um, you know, that he can't when he is in the seat to do so. But
Yeah.
but look at it from this point. If God does not allow him to, it doesn't matter how much Putin spouts out of the mouth, he cannot send anything to Ukraine. He just cannot.
Mm.
Not even Biden. God is in control. And the news media and those who are in the military and military analysts and all of that saying, well, one of those bombs is 10 times more powerful than the bomb that they put down on Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Mm.
And it's strong enough to destroy the earth. God is not going to allow anybody or anything to destroy the earth because the word of God says that he is coming back here. He's not coming back here to destroy the earth. Or he's not coming he's not coming back here to anything which is destroyed. He's coming back here to judge man.
Mm.
He's coming back here to reward those who follow him and to reward those who have rejected him. So,
Mm.
irrespective of what the leader of these nuclear nations are saying and threatening to do if things are not done how they want it to, let them do it. Let
Mm.
them talk. It's just talk, Sylbourne.
Mm.
It's just talk. It can't happen.
Because
Not unless God, not unless God says so. But God, He said He's coming back to this earth. He's coming back here. And the Bible says every eye is going to behold Him. Every man, what does the Bible say? Every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ. So it's not a destroyed world that He's coming to where people are going to be kneeling down and such. No, no, it's not. No.
well, at least the show ends with a positive note, where there's hope, because if you listen to the news media every day, it end with more news, and all news is always bad news because that's what they feed on, and people feed on that fear, the fear, as much as possible. But Gary, before we go, I don't know if you know, I, I don't see it as destroying. Michelle said, I don't see it as destroying the earth. It's destroying life on earth. Would you say that's the same different, Gary?
I I don't know if I would see it the same because it's is to me it's the Lord coming back for man. He's coming to judge man. He's not coming to judge creation.
Mm.
Creation has been disturbed because of the sin of mankind.
Mm.
So the Bible talks of the earth groaneth, creation groaneth for the
Mm.
manifestations of the sons of God.
Yeah.
Now, until mankind is is saved and brought into union with God, when that happens, then creation will be released to express itself the way that it was meant to be from the foundations of the world.
Mm.
So when it comes to destroying life, no, no, it no. I believe um, that God is not going to allow man to save, to destroy life in itself.
Yes. It's not.
God is not going to allow that,
Yeah. And that is why the rainbow is there.
and that is why the rainbow. does the rainbow promise? The rainbow was a covenant between God and man. He would not destroy the earth with water. Yes, that's what he promised man. Now we see a lot of water now, and you may say, well, yeah, there is a lot of flooding in Pakistan, and in sometimes probably in Australia,
Yeah.
in the United States, certain parts, in the UK, certain parts. So water seems to be very much prominent at some point in the world, at some point in the year. But that is no way,
Mhm.
nowhere can it be compared to the flood that happened during the time of Noah? Because that covered the whole earth, even the very mountains were covered.
Yeah. The Mr. Light Speaker said, "I think God is in control, whether we are here when God returns or not."
God will always, I would agree, God will always be in control. God is in control. And man, the seed, let's put it this way, the seed of Adam, which is us to some extent, we will never be off this face of this earth. You know, we, there are certain men, certain sections of humanity that is looking way into the skies and into the cosmos, to find planets that is conducive for living and everything like that. And they've got their ulterior motives. Look and see what Hollywood has put out in recent years.
Yeah.
Whatever Hollywood seems to put out is a way of conditioning men's minds to believe that there's going to be an ark which is built so that we can go to another planet if this planet becomes toxic.
All right.
But that will never happen, Sylbourne.
Yeah.
That will
Yeah,
never
Gary.
happen.
Yeah. But before we go, I don't know if you know, there's a big thing coming up in the UK in the next few weeks. Let me put up the flyer there. Access Jamaica UK. This is going to be at London, 6th to the 8th, 2022 at Lewisham Parish Church of St. Mary Virgin, and Birmingham, October the 3rd to 4th. And this is the access presentation. The passport immigration, and it's running across, and citizenship agency will be presenting Access Jamaica UK in collaboration with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade, and the Jamaica Commission UK. Okay, there's information there, and it's going to be October 3rd to the 4th in Birmingham, and further dates in London. For a renewal of new adult passports, renewal of new children passport, lost, stolen, or damaged adult passport. There's different costs to it there. Lost, stolen, damaged children. Citizenship by descent, if you want to get your children to be Jamaicans. Yeah. Citizenship by marriage. Yeah. Unconditional landing. Gary, have you got your passport? You got a
I
Jamaican
have,
passport?
I have mine, man.
Is it up to date, Gary?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, for wherever in the UK, you can tap into this event, which is going to be in collaboration with the Passport with PICA. October 3rd to 4th in Birmingham, Legacy Center of Excellence, 144 Potters Lane, Birmingham, 46 for UU, and October 6th to 8th in London, Lewisham Parish, which is just done by me here. October St. Mary, Virgin, and for persons to get themselves their Jamaican passport because Virgin. Better make sure we can go back to Jamaica if anything. You know? And Light Speaker said, what he said finally, if I die of old age, God will still come when God wants. And whether you die or not, you shall somehow have that judgment day, right, Gary?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I think that there are some and we have to come to terms with it with this still, that there are some who are listening in or may pass by this broadcast later on that will not agree with us at all.
Yes.
We've got to come to that conclusion.
It's
But then the
understandable.
fact still remains that we've got to let people know that the Lord is coming back and that we have to prepare ourselves. Whether, again, like speaker says, whether we live or whether we die, the Lord is in control, and He is going to do what He wants, not what Mr. Putin or Biden
Yes.
wants, or even
Yeah.
let Zelensky.
Whether you're asleep or you're woke or you wake up. All right, well, Gary, listen, thank you so much again. And ladies and gentlemen, Saturday night, talk and sip. I'm hoping to get maybe one of the representatives from the Passport and Immigration Service in Jamaica, PICA, to promote their event to the Jamaicans in the UK here. If you're a Jamaican and you want to get involved and to get your passport, remember you can get information from my Facebook page as well and look at the show here. The numbers are running downstairs there. And next week Tuesday, hey, I had a young person on the other night, Gary, and young guy, he's 17 years of age. There he is, impromptu moment, 20th of September. Trevor Anderson has his own business, his own art. And as a result, we've got more young people to be interviewed next week, Tuesday. Again. So at least I set for the next 6 weeks. And a young lady is going to come on this Tuesday night as well, 20th, Naomi Francis. Yep. So it's a very interesting time. Empowering the youths as much as possible. And the important thing, Gary, is that whatever we have inside of us, we've got to let it come out because everybody's gonna let what they want come out. If they are of a different religion, it's gonna come out in their thinking. So therefore,
Sure.
if we're of the faith of Christ, we have to let it come out as well. In with all, I call it with be wise as serpent, harmless as doves. Be tactful, but let your presence be felt. Gary, you have the last word.
I think you just said that, my friend. Yeah, you just said it, my friend. You must. I applaud all the young men and young ladies that are doing something positive in their lives, positive in the lives of others and in the community. And I just want to encourage them really to do, irrespective of what's going on around them, just be positive and do positive things. And not only that, but whether you're of West Indian descent or of an African heritage, I believe that we all have some deposit God, of God in us
Yeah.
as a people, and I want to encourage you all just to not forget the Lord God, our Maker, but to, in all our ways, to acknowledge Him, and He will direct our path. So God bless you.
Yeah. Before I go, on my Instagram, there's a company named Beauty Statements. It's in Jamaica, Watchers. And I go to Jamaica. That's where I get my manicure done. My manicure and pedicure, Colleen Howlett. The Ochi days. So it's always that's the beauty about social media. It connects you at the same time. So I'm saying to her, I'll be coming to Jamaica soon to do my manicure, my pedicure. That's the only way I do my manicure and pedicure in Ochi, Jamaica. All right, Gary. Listen, have a good night. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Light speaker, Michelle, and everyone else. Scotty, hey, Scotty came in. Scotty, you're late, man. Yeah, come back Saturday night. You need to come and show your face on the top. People are asking who is Scotty, you know. And don't say UIC. um, so have a good night. Remember to like and subscribe to the Sylbourne Show. Tune in Tuesday night. We'll have that young person. Um, tune in to the immigration, passport immigration, bit which is going to happen very soon. And for those on Instagram as well, on Twitter and Facebook, have a good night. God bless you and peace out.